Hey YouTube, so today I will be talking about the story of me giving birth and how I went into labor and all of that good stuff, and then I'll also be showing a clip, well, clips and scenes from that day, and including me actually giving birth, but you can't really see anything because I have the whole video in black and white, and then the doctor's hand is like in front of my vagina, so you can't really see, like, you can't see too much. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. My baby is now 6 months. You're just trying to stand up. I went into labor on May 15th, 2016, at the beginning, closer to the beginning of this year. It started at 5 a.m., May 15th. I started with really painful contractions, but I was told that you couldn't... What? I was told that I couldn't come in until I was having contractions consistently 3 to 5 minutes apart for a whole hour. So that whole day I was having contractions, but it wasn't staying at 3 to 5 minutes for a whole hour. And I called my granny. No, I called my auntie. And she came to pick me up, and we went to our granny house, and I stayed over there for a few hours. And I was walking, I was squatting, I was trying to do anything to speed the process up, but it just would not speed up at all. And then I was tired. I couldn't get any sleep. I was exhausted the whole day because these contractions were so painful. And it was like I would get a 5-minute break, 5, 10, 15, 20-minute break, and then it would be back. And then I would be able to catch my breath, and I would close my eyes for a few minutes, and then another one would come back, and they were so painful that it would wake me up out of my sleep. It was horrible. So after a few hours, I'm like, okay, I just want to go home and I want to get in my bed. And I get home, and at like 1 a.m. I'm like, no, it was too painful. I could not take it. So I called my auntie again, and I'm like, okay, I want to go to the hospital. I don't care about, waiting for 3 to 5 minutes. This is painful. I want to go. So we get to the hospital. We're sitting in the lobby for a little bit. I don't think there was nobody there. Actually, no. There was another pregnant woman there. And when we first got there, both of us he checked me and I was 4 centimeters dilated. But it took so long because there was another lady there who was also 4 centimeters dilated. But I kid you not, 10 minutes later, the baby was coming out of her vagina and she was screaming her head off. And she's in the room like right across from me. Both of our doors are open. And she is hollering and screaming at the top of her lungs, and I guess like they weren't taking her serious until a nurse went in there, and they're like, oh, this baby's head is coming out, and then all of the doctors are rushing to trying to get her into a room, and I'm just sitting there like, maybe if I make a scene, I'll get a room faster. But once they took care of her, they came and they took me to my room, and I got to my room probably around like 5 a.m. and as soon as I sat down in my bed, my water broke. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm excited. I'm nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really finna have a baby. Like, a baby is really finna come out of my vagina. Like, out of my vagina. A big baby, a human being that lives and breathes is coming out of my vagina. But I was also really excited because I was tired of being pregnant. I was tired of waddling. I was tired of not being able to sleep on my stomach. And this little boy is really active. He was, and probably will always be really active. 4 centimeters dilated. It's 5 a.m. And then I was probably still at 5 centimeters till about 10 a.m. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna have to induce you because it's going really slow. You're not going fast enough. And I'm like, okay. But I was gonna try to go natural. I didn't want any drugs. I was gonna try and do the whole process natural until they told me they were gonna induce me. Because I heard that when you get induced, the labor pains are worse. So then once they said I was going to get induced, I'm like, okay, then no, I want you to drug me up. Give me all the drugs you can give me. So, ignore my baby's bald spot. So around 10, 11-ish, I get my epidural. And I'm feeling good. Like, I can't feel nothing at all. Literally the only things I could move was my arms. I couldn't move anything below, and I was feeling good. I got some sleep. It was no more contractions. I was on cloud 9. And I'm gonna show you, you're gonna see the pictures of me when I got my epidural, and you can see that I was gone. But so I was like that for a few hours, and it was a slow process. And around 8-ish, my epidural started to wear off. My epidural wore off twice, so they had to give it to me 2 times, and they were supposed to give it to me a 3rd time before I went into labor. I'm finally at like 9, 10 centimeters, and I'm ready to, actually have the baby. And I'm telling them like, I'm kind of in pain, and I feel like I got to push. Like, I have this urge to push. And they weren't really taking me serious. They're like, are you sure it's pain or is it pressure? And I hate that question because I know the difference between pain and pressure, and this is pain. Like, let me go. like this was hurting. And I was telling her, like, and they're like, okay, your epidural is running low, let's get you some more. So I'm like, okay, cool, because I don't want this pain. Like, get rid of it. But also, at that moment, I was starting to feel the urge to push. So I'm trying to tell them, like, okay, I feel like I need to push. I need some more epidural. This is painful. And they kind of feel like they weren't taking me serious, like, because I'm young. They're like, oh, she probably don't know what she feeling right now. Whatever. And I started low-key pushing. And then when the lady finally came to check me, she was like, oh, she's 10 minutes. She's 10 centimeters dilated. She's ready to go. In my head, I'm like,
yeah, I know.
So then they prop me up and everything goes up. Like they lift the bed up or whatever, and they get everything ready. And I had like 6 people inside the room with me. I was in labor for 39 hours, but I only pushed, I think, for like less than 3, maybe less than 5 minutes. I was only pushing to get him out. And it was really painful because I felt it, because my epidural had run out. And I was telling them, when she realized, like, oh, it's time for you to push, and I was like, oh no, my epidural. And she was like, it's too late. And I wanted to cry. I wanted to break down and cry right there because it was painful. It was painful, but it wasn't as painful as to what happened to me after. Literally minutes after I gave birth. And I actually do a story time about that because I literally thought I was gonna die after I gave birth. It was so scary and 10 times more painful than actually giving birth. So I'll tell that story later. But I'm gonna just show you guys the clips of me giving birth and that the videos and pictures from that day, and that will kind of be all for this video. If you like me telling stories about giving birth and my experiences as a mother, there will be other videos besides this, but right now this is kind of just like what I've been wanting to do. Thumbs up, William. Say thumbs us up for more. Say give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah. Say subscribe. Say subscribe. Say subscribe.
Oh, do my face.
You're so cute.
Yeah. I think
Oh.
if it's not happening, talk to your doctor because sometimes certain medications you're taking or certain conditions you have can really affect your ability to have an orgasm. But it will happen. Our team, all the way left for this future war, and the leading winners,
You should Snapchat. Stop recording me, dude.
It's almost over.
Now, should we push like 4 or 5 times?
It's almost over.
That's awesome. She's doing really, really well.
It seems like it take forever. You ready?
Alright,
Push.
Here he comes.
Push. There you go, Dee Dee. Oh, there you
There
go.
you go, Dee. Push. There you go.
Almost. Push.
Push. Come on, Dee Dee.
Push.
You can do it.
Push.
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 Grab them
There
thighs,
you
girl, and
go.
push.
There you go.
Just hold it right up, right up.
You ready?
Good job, Dee.
Push.
Woo.
Look like they hurting my G
It's fine. Push, baby.
baby. Push. Push. Almost out. Got the head out.
Push.
He stopped crying now.